Alan Jackson is losing his body to a disease most people have never heard of. And in the middle of watching his hands forget how to hold a guitar, he said something about his wife that took 60 years to mean. He was a small-town kid from Noonan, Georgia with a voice that sounded like it had been aged in oak. Denise was the girl he met at a church event, young, grounded, the kind of person who could see something in a nobody before the world did. She worked as a flight attendant while he played empty bars to 3 people who weren't listening. She believed in him during the years when belief was the only thing they had. They married in 1979. He was still pumping gas at a service station. She didn't care about any of that. She had seen what he could do when nobody was watching, and that was enough. Then he got everything he wanted. Gold records. Stadiums filled with people singing his words back to him. The kind of success that turns a man into a monument. And monuments don't make good husbands. The distance started the way it always does, not with a fight, but with an absence. He was on the road. Then he was on the road longer. Then he was on the road so much that coming home felt like visiting a life that had been rearranged without him. Denise held everything together. 2 daughters. The property. The quiet existence that was supposed to be shared. While he was building an empire of country music, she was sitting at kitchen tables alone, convincing herself that this was temporary. He won awards for songs about home while being away from his own. The irony is almost too much to sit with. The man singing about small-town devotion was living a life that had almost nothing to do with it. The years stacked up. The tours continued. The face on the album covers aged while the woman in the kitchen aged beside him, wondering if the man she married had become a person she only recognized on television. And then came the disease. Charcot-Marie-Tooth. A slow-moving neurological condition that takes away your strength from the outside in. It started in his feet. Moved to his hands. The hands that had written songs millions of people knew by heart. The hands that had held a guitar through every stadium in America. They began to fail him. The man whose entire identity was built on music was watching his body forget how to make it. And Denise didn't leave. She sat beside him. The way she had sat beside him in those empty bars when nobody was watching. The way she had sat beside him in 1979 when he had nothing and she chose him anyway. He tried to keep performing. Played through it. Smiled through the pain. Told fans he was fine. But the man who could barely stand on stage was being held upright by the woman he had spent 40 years taking for granted. At 67, he admitted what he should have said 40 years ago. That she was the love of his life. Not the music. Not the stage. Not the applause that told him he mattered every night. The woman who stayed when the body started failing. The woman who had been there at the beginning and was still there at the ending he never saw coming. He can't tour anymore. The disease is not getting better. But the thing he finally admitted about Denise is not a tribute to a wife. It's an apology from a man who took too long to realize that the love he was looking for in stadiums was sitting at his kitchen table the entire time. Some people spend a lifetime running from the one person who matters, and then spend the rest of their lives trying to find the way back.